Hello and welcome back to another video on Notjust developers. Today we're going to learn how to publish your React Native application to Apple's App Store from scratch. But as always, don't worry because we will go through everything that you need to know and I will guide you throughout the whole process step by step and also try to clearly explain everything as we go. In case you're looking for a tutorial on how to upload your React Native application to Google Play Store or how to upload your Expo application to Apple's App Store or Google Play Store, don't worry, we've got you covered here as well because we have all of those tutorials on this channel. So without wasting any more time, let's start learning. Okay, so before we can continue, we still have to create accounts on a few websites in order to use their services. But I've already done that in our previous tutorial, so I don't want to really repeat myself. Therefore, I will ask Lucas from the past to showcase you how it's done, and I'll wait you here. After you're done with that, we'll be able to continue our tutorial. So let's roll the clip. Let's type Apple Developer in our URL bar, click enter. In here, select the first link. You'll see this page where we have to click account up top here, and they will ask us to log in. If you have your account already, you can log in and skip to the later part of the video. But if you don't have one, let's click create yours now here. We can close this tab already. And in here, we'll have to provide some information about you. So let's start with the name, last name, our country, date of birth, your email. You need a valid email here. So type in whatever fits you. Now you'll need a strong password. Okay. And in here, we'll need to provide our phone number. Also, you need a real phone number in order to verify your phone. You can select whether you want to verify it with a text message or a phone call. I will select text message, and I don't need to receive announcements, nor do I need to receive emails about new releases. Also, you need to type here the letters from this image and click continue. Now you need to go to your email and type in here the code that you received there. So I will type in the code and I'll come back to you right after I do that. Okay, so I just entered my code. Now let's click continue here. And now we will have to verify our phone number that we provided as well. So after you get yours, enter it here and click continue as well. Okay, I've entered mine. Now let's click continue. And in here, we'll have to agree with Apple Developer Agreement. So you can read, and after you've done with this, you can click that you confirm that you have read and agree to this agreement. And also, I like to uncheck this box, but if you'd like to receive communication announcing the latest events, news, and etc., you can leave this tick on. Let's click submit. And here we are. We are in our Apple developers dashboard. Now, in order to be able to manage your application, or most importantly, publish your application to the Apple's App Store, you do need to enroll to their Apple developer program. And it does cost $99 a year, which is pretty steep compared to Google Play, but basically there is no other way around it. And if you want your app on the Apple App Store, you'll have to do that. So in order to do that, let's click this gray box under here. And in this page, you'll be able to read a little bit what it gives you, its benefits and stuff like that. But basically, I've just summarized everything before. It does include some neat things and interesting, helpful tools. But basically, if you want your app on the App Store, you need to enroll. So let's click this blue button here. And in here, we can also read a little bit more. What do we need if we are enrolling as an individual? Or what do we need if we are enrolling as an organization? Of course, we are going to do it as an individual. So let's scroll down and click start your enrollment. And in here, we will need to provide some more personal information. So I'll do that behind the camera and then I'll come back to you right after I'm finished. Okay, I'm done. Now I can click continue down below here. And basically it will ask us whether we are individual, company, nonprofit, or any other of the choices. And of course we are an individual. So let's click continue. Now let's again read everything here if you want to. And after you're done, you'll have to click this box in order to confirm that you have read and agree to everything that says there. Now let's click continue. And in here, as I've mentioned before, we still have to pay for our Apple Developer Program membership. So in order to do that, click this purchase button down here. In this page, simply provide your payment information as well as billing information and then click continue. After which you'll be charged $99 and that's it. you have your Apple developer account. Now I won't do that because we already have an account, so you can pause the video, make the purchase, and I'll meet you at the Apple developer dashboard. Here it is. Here is your Apple developer dashboard. Now that you have your Apple developer account, we can continue. And the first thing that we have to do is click on this certificates, IDs, and profiles in the left sidebar menu. In here, click identifiers and new identifier. We need to create a bundle identifier for our application in order to uniquely identify it on the App Store. So click continue here, select app and continue again. In here, we'll need to provide a short description. So something like not just simple math bundle ID. And also here below, we need to select what capabilities does your application have. So most likely it is very common that you will have something like push notifications, sign in with Apple, or maps. And if it does use that, click here and leave it like that. Well, our application doesn't use any of these, so I will leave all of them empty and simply provide the bundle identifier. And Apple even recommends using this style, so that's what we are going to do. com.notjust.simple.math and click continue. Now you can review everything here and click register. Okay, after registering it, we can see it is here, not just simple math, bundle ID, and our identifier. Perfect. Now that we have our identifier, we can go back to our developer account main dashboard and click App Store Connect. In here, click Go to App Store Connect. In this page, select My Apps. And here, if you have any applications, you'll see all of them. If you don't have them, then it is going to be blank. But you have to click this plus button near the app's title and click New App. In here, let's select a platform. So we are releasing application for iOS devices. Now the name, it's going to be Not Just Simple Math. Now we need to select primary language. It's going to be English and the bundle ID that we just created. So click this drop down and find the bundle ID that you created. Here it is, our Not Just Simple Math bundle ID. Let's click on it and the SKU. It is a unique ID for your app that is not visible on the App Store. So basically you can provide the same thing as bundle ID. So we will say com.notjust.simple.math. Now we have to select user access. And more times than not, you will select full access, especially if you're a small team or you're a sole developer. So just select full access and it's going to be okay. Let's select that and click create. Now you might need to reload the page for your application to appear here. So let's try to do that. And here it is, Not Just Simple Math. Let's click on our application. And in here, we'll have to provide a lot of information and different screenshots, different pricing, basically a lot of it. So I really don't want to, again, repeat myself because it's going to be completely the same as I did during the last tutorial, and it takes quite a bit of time. So I thought it would be a good idea to, again, ask Lucas from the past to show how it's done because we already did that. So go through everything like I show you in that video clip and I'll wait you here. It will take quite a bit, but it's not going to be very difficult. So good luck. First of all, we will start with app previews and screenshots. So you need to provide at least one screenshot for iPhone 6.5 inches, iPhone 5.5 inches, and for iPads. So let's start doing that. And actually, you can click this choose file and select from your computer where your files are. I will do that behind the camera because it will take a lot of time to go one by one. And then I'll come back right after I'm done with it. Here it is. I just finished uploading my images and screenshots. So basically you can see it for 6.5 iPhone, 5.5 and iPads. Okay, we can continue. You can always add some kind of promotional text here and it will basically always appear above the description. So it can be one simple sentence, and in my case, I will write cryptocurrency price tracker, comma, don't miss a dip. Okay, so it's something flavorful, and also you can provide a description. Think about it very well because description is pretty important for your application if you want other people to download it. For me, I just quickly created something behind the camera, so I will copy paste, but I just list some of the key features of this application. Okay, now let's go to the keywords. Keywords are actually very important. I think it makes more sense to have less keywords, but very good ones, rather than fill out the whole 100 characters with bad keywords. So I also prepared some behind the camera, and you need to separate them by comma. So something like this: crypto, comma, price tracker, comma, cryptocurrency, comma, etc. Okay, now let's go to support URL, and we will come back to this a little bit later. So let's leave it empty for now. We don't have any marketing URL, and it is optional, so we can skip it. Version number will be 1.0.0, so let's fix it. And copyrights, it will also be, it can be your name, your startup. In my case, I will simply put not just. This one, routing app coverage file, is optional, and we will skip that. iMessages app, we don't have that, and we're not releasing for Apple Watch. Here we will need to upload our build a little bit later, but let's skip this for now as well. And we don't use game send, so we can move on. Okay, app review information. So this information is necessary in order for Apple worker to review your application and either approve it or decline it. And our application don't have any sign-ins, so we can skip this one. But if your application contains a registration and login forms, you need to provide login forms for the reviewer. But we don't have, so we can uncheck this one. Now this is contact information. So this is basically how they can reach you. Let's provide my name, my last name, my phone number, and my email. And this is notes for the tester. So you can leave something like thanks for your time, and you can leave it empty, but I like to thank for their effort. And you can add some sort of attachments that you think may be necessary, but it's optional, so we can skip. And now we go to the last step in this page. Basically, you can select if you want this app to be automatically released right after it is approved, if you want to manually release this version, and that's what actually I will select in this case, or if you want to automatically release this app version after it's approved, but no earlier than a certain date. I will select manually release it, and we can go up top to save all the information. Okay, now it's saved, we can continue. Go in here under general to app information, and here we'll have to provide some more information. First of all, the name here, we already set it, so let's leave it like that. You can add a subtitle if you want. In my case, I will leave it empty. In here, we need to select the category of this application. And there are a lot of categories here, but I think the one that fits the most is finance here. So let's select that. You can also select the secondary category, but I don't have anything, so I will leave this empty as it is only optional. But this will let you appear on the search results a little bit better. Okay, now we need to set up our content rights. So let's click this set up content rights information and answer to a few questions. Does your app contain, show, or access third-party content? And I think it does. We use CoinGecko API. So let's click yes, and I have the necessary rights. And the only requirement from CoinGecko is to mention that it is powered by their API, and I already did that. So let's click done. And the age rating. So we need to set up the age rating across all platforms. Let's click here, and we have to go through a questionnaire. So you can read it here. First, select the level of frequency for each content description that best describes your app. The app's age rating that will appear on the App Store is the same across all platforms. So cartoon or fantasy violence, none. Realistic violence, none. Prolonged graphic or sadistic realistic violence, none. Profanity or crude humor, none. Mature suggestive themes, none. Horror, fear themes, none. Medical treatment information, none. Alcohol, tobacco, or drug use or references, no. Simulated gambling, no. Sexual content or nudity, no. Graphic sexual content and nudity, no. Contests, no. Okay, we filled our form. We can click next, and here answer to a few more questions. Does your app contain unrestricted web access, such as with an embedded browser? No. Does your app contain instances of gambling? Nope, it does not. Let's click next. And the last one, based on your selections, your app age rating displayed below, which is 4 years old. And here advanced, your app's age rating will be replaced by the rating associated with each option below. Your content selection and level of frequency will not be affected. and we can leave this as it is and click done. If your app is more suited to 17 plus years old, you should have selected that. For us, it's good. We selected all of the required information, and we can click save up top here and continue to pricing and availability. Our application is free, so that's what we are going to select. You can select whatever price your app is, but usually probably it will be free, and you can select also in other currencies, but I don't need that. Now we can click save here. Because these other options are not as important, you can go and read them through, but usually you will leave them by default and go to app privacy. And in here, we'll have to, first of all, click here, get started. And basically they will ask us about data collection. If your app is collecting any kind of data, you should click yes. And then you'll have a few more questions to answer, but we don't collect any data about the user. So let's click no and click save. Additional setup required. To update your app's product page with new data types, you need to finish setting them up on the following page. Okay, but we don't collect any type of data, so we don't need to do anything else. Now, we do need to provide our privacy policy URL, but of course it would take too much time to write a good privacy policy right now. Therefore, just open a new tab, go to app.privacypolicies.com. In here, click Privacy Policy Generator, and we'll have to answer to a few questions in order for them to generate a privacy policy for us. First of all, where will your privacy policy be used? And it's going to be used in an app. Then we need to provide our app name, so it's not just crypto tracker. Now we need to provide our entity type, and we are an individual, and the country. So let's select my country. You can select yours. Click next. Now, what kind of personal information do you collect from users? We don't collect anything, so I will choose others. If you collect something, make sure to select it here and select additional information you collect from a device. We don't collect anything, so let's just click next step. In here, we'll need to provide how users can contact us for any questions regarding our privacy policy. So I will select by email and provide my email. Okay, next step. And now we can choose if we want their professional privacy policy. We don't, so I will simply click this and click next step. And here I need to provide the email address to which I want to receive this privacy policy. I will select the same one and click generate. Here it is. We have our privacy policy URL. We can click here to copy, then we can close this page and we are back here. In here we click edit, and under privacy policy URL, paste the URL that we just got and click save. In here we need to click this publish button, so it will publish your app privacy policy responses, and yes. Okay, we are done here, and now we can go back to our main page by clicking this prepare for submission link. In here we still have a few things to deal with, the first one being support URL. Apple explains it as an URL with support information for your app, which basically doesn't give you much. And I've tried to dig deeper, why are they requiring it and what it is actually. And from what I've managed to gather, Apple expects a bare minimum of support for users of your application. And a user should have some way to contact you with questions, concerns, issues, or any problems with the app. And some people even say that it can be a simple email address to contact you, but I never tried it, so don't quote me on that. I'm not exactly sure. And what Apple is requiring that because if a user doesn't have a way to contact you with a problem, they will just complain to Apple if they have any kind of issue, and Apple would have just no way to resolve that issue with your application. So requiring this URL saves Apple from having to deal with users who really just want to communicate with you. So in this case, I will simply try to provide a URL to my privacy policy, because under the bottom they still have an email to contact me, and I'll see if Apple accepts my submission or rejects it, and then I will let you know. Welcome back. I hope everything was clear from that video, and now we can continue. So while you were going through all of those steps in the video, I actually did the same behind the camera, and now we can start working on more technical things. So let's go and open our Xcode. In here, select open a project or file, navigate to your React Native project and select iOS. After selecting, click open, and once the loading is finished, we can click on here Xcode, preferences, navigate to accounts tab and click here to add a new account. Select Apple ID, click continue, and log in with the account that you just created for your Apple developer account. I already did that, so I'll close this. After you're logged in, go here on simple math, then go to signing and capabilities. And in here, select automatically manage signing and team to your team, basically, that you just logged into. I'll select this. Now we'll create signing certificate for me automatically. And once it's finished, you're good to go. Now we can go to General tab, and in here, change a few details. First of all, let's start with the display name. That's basically going to be the name under your app. And we will say that it should be not just simple math. Bundle identifier should be the same as we created in the App Store Connect. So let's change it, com.notjust.simple math. Now the version is going to be 1.0.0. The build number is going to be 1. Now, every time we release a new update, a new version, we will have to increase version and build number. Okay, let's go to deployment info. We are releasing it only for iPhone, so that's good. Now device orientation, we will leave it only in a portrait mode, but if you're supporting upside down, landscape left, landscape right, you can select these two. For us, it should be only in portrait mode, and everything else, leave it like it is. Now, the thing that you will most likely want to change is your icons. And in order to do that, let's open a browser, new tab, and go to appicon.co. Let's click enter. For me, I need only icons for iPhone. But if you need icons for iPad, watchOS, macOS, do select these. Now click here or drag the image that you want to be your icon. So I will click here and select the icon that I have created, probably myself with my design skills, and then click upload. Once it's uploaded, simply click generate and it will download new zipped file with all of your icons. So click on it, and here we have unzipped icons. Okay, that's good. We can see that all of these assets are in here, the ones that we need. That's good. So now let's go back to our Xcode. Let's open this folder. Let's go to simple math here again and to images. In here, click on app icon. We can minimize this window for now and drag all of these icons except this contents.json onto here. Some of the icons will be added here in their places automatically, but some of them won't. So if they're not, then simply drag. You see that here is 1024. So let's drag it here. 40 pixels, drag it here, 60, 58, 80, 87, 114, 120, and 180. And I see that I need 120 one more time. So let's drag, where is my 120? Let's drag it in place. Perfect. We have all of our icons in place. We can even see that here it's changed as well. Now we can close this one as well. And most likely you will have to go here to product, clean build folder. And after cleaning build folder, go to product again and build in order to change the icons in every place basically. So once my build is finished, I will come back to you. Okay, I can see my icon updated here. So now the only thing that's left is to archive our application. And in order to do that, first of all, let's click on this iPod Touch, and we need to select from this long list any iOS device. Click on this, then go to product and click archive. Now this will take as well approximately the same time as it took for building the app, but we have to wait. So I'll come back to you again right after it's finished. Once the archiving is finished, it should automatically open this window. If it didn't open, just go to Window and click Organizer. But if it did, you should see something similar to this. Here should be your application name, and here should be the archive that we just created. Don't worry if the icon is not correct here, it will update a little bit later. After the archiving, select your build and click Distribute App. In here, select App Store Connect, click Next. Here, Upload. In here, leave everything on default as well and click Next. Here, leave as well default. And once all of the loading is finished again, simply click Upload here. Now your application will be uploaded to App Store Connect, and once you see this finished, you can go to App Store Connect, click on test flight, and here let's say after 10 minutes, you will see your first build with your first version. It will also take a little bit of time to process the build on the App Store Connect. So give it some time, and again, I'll see you after it's finished. So once the processing is finished, you'll see your new version with your first build, and as I said, a correct icon and a missing compliance warning. Click on manage and select according to you. Most likely it's going to be no, but if your app uses any kind of encryption, select yes. Then click start internal testing, and now your application is ready to submit. But before submitting, it is usually very smart to test your application on your internal testers or even on your real device. And in order to do that, you can click here near internal testing and provide internal group name. I will call it simply internal testers and click create. Also enable automatic distribution. Okay, perfect. Now near testers, click plus button and select the testers that you want to invite in your testing, basically internal testing. Okay, after selecting, click add, and you'll see that the status is invited. Now this invited user has to go to his email address and accept the invitation. Also, he'll have to download test flight application from the App Store, log into his account, and he'll be able to test your application on a real device just before releasing it to production. It is very smart to do that because that way you can spot bugs that you didn't manage to find during the development, or even some bugs that weren't in development but now they are here. So usually you should follow this flow. Okay, after we've tested our application, we can go to App Store. In here, scroll down until you find build, and now we have to add the archive that we created to this new release. Select here, select the build that you created, click done, and now we can see that our build is uploaded with included assets app icon. Now we need to save it. After saving, we can reload, and after reloading, we should see our icon here as well. Perfect. That's it. We only have to go through a few last steps before submitting our application for Apple review. And those steps are clicking this add for review button. In here, checking if all of the information is correct, and then clicking submit to app review. That's it. You have submitted your application to Apple review. Once the Apple review is finished, you will receive a notification to your email address, or you can simply come back here and you'll see here either a rejection because your application doesn't meet Apple requirements, or you'll be able to release your new application to production by going to this window and clicking a button here that will appear if the application is approved. That's it. Here we have our app uploaded to the App Store. Now, if you want to release an update, you will have to follow very similar steps. First of all, do the changes in your application. Then in Xcode, come to this place, increase the version number by 1 and the build number by 1. Then go to product and archive. After archiving your app, go through all of the same steps, and as easy as that, you will release a new version of your application. So guys, we have covered everything that you need to know in order to release your application to Apple's App Store. I hope everything was clear to you and you've managed to go through the whole process without any problems. If you have found any value from this video, I would really appreciate if you could like the video and subscribe to this channel, because it really helps us to grow and release even more content to you guys. Again, thank you very much for watching and have a nice day. Bye.